we saw it in our region. Our clinic caseloads they shot up by over 30%.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, I was just I remember last year I was like blown away by the amount of people that were there. I remember, I drive a tiny little car, I was able to find a spot like behind some pallets, but the lot was filled. I remember everything, the lot was filled. I had my little girl with me. It was really fun, and there was a lot of people there for sure.
Oh yeah. We had a walkthrough at Southgate Park. That's where we had it last year, and we literally heard from like the Chamber of Commerce, and I was sharing with them. I've been contacted by other cities who are just like, so when are you guys gonna do that in our area? And we're like, well, this year we're doing things a little bit differently, but people were really like from other parts of the service area were just like, this is amazing. This is like, you guys brought all sorts of different resources, made it fun. It's like people are still talking about getting those type of activities going, and just I think especially coming out of like the pandemic, that was like a good way for our community to just come back safely together.
Yeah.
You know, and that's huge.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
Yeah, Huntington Park is also reaching out also like, can we have any? Or like, well, we can't do something like that. We're gonna have our Southgate one, but like you guys are really
even if you look at public health data, some of the areas that were the biggest hit by COVID fall in our zip codes.
Yeah.
They do. Well, that's what we were being really strategic this year about where these events would be, right? We knew we needed a big space because we were going all out, right? But what I did was I took all the RAND data from last year that captured all the demographics of people who actually came to the events, and then overlaid that with the county equity tool and overlapped where those things were, put all the filters in, you know, do folks need CalFresh, CalWorks, you know, so forth and so on, all the filters, and there was just this perfect giant block right over Belvedere Park, and so it made sense, right? Like it made sense and it worked out. But yeah, I've been getting the same reaction. Like even moving ahead, thinking about Pride event. The city wants, or the county is looking at doing. The city of WeHo is just so excited to partner with us on it, right? Like, I think I have every mayor in the city on speed dial at this point. We're all best friends.
Was last year the first time to take action was a thing?
Yeah, so from what I understand, I'm new to this game too, right? From what I understand, there were other programs. There was one called We Rise, and then another, I don't remember the name of it. Do you?
No, that's the prior to We Rise.
Yeah, there was something, and then We Rise, and then the pandemic happened, and now we're back with a vengeance with take action.
But back in a different way, I'll say that.
Totally.
I don't know if you guys ever went to any of the We Rise events when we had them, but I did, and they were nice. A lot of art and music and all sorts of resources. But one of the biggest criticisms I received from our community members out here in Seven was that number one, there weren't any events out here that were close by. So a lot of our clients and their families couldn't get to them because it was hard, it was too far. And number two is the ones that did get there, they felt like every resource was like on the west side. You know, they were like, it didn't really talk about stuff that we could use, although great stuff, but it's too far for us to use. So I think with Take Action, the really unique and awesome thing is that they're based in the community.
Absolutely. And by the community, for the community, right? Like,
again, like to me, what's impactful is remembering the images that I took, or the amount of people that were there. And for people who were there, it's no lie, it was crowded. The lines of the people, either at the booths, at the trucks. And I remember in particular that some of the gentlemen who attend the men group, they were like, oh my God, you guys did this for us, because it was a men's event, right?
That's amazing.
So I thought it was really, really good. That's why I asked about the Take Action thing, because I'm like, that was like the beginning of it, right? Like, that's so cool.
The funny thing you're talking about, that men's group, it was, to me, that was one of the most memorable things initially when we first kicked off the event, last year's event, because I remember meeting some of the men from our group, and it was the first time because at that point we were only seeing them on a computer screen.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that a lot of them really felt comfortable coming in person.
Yeah.
But then they all gravitated to a table, and you were the one that pointed it out to me. He came up and he's like, "Hey, check it out! It's an impromptu group session." And I looked, and they were all sitting there at
That's
the
so
table
cool.
chatting, and we're like, "They're holding a group without us."
That's
Yeah.
Because
so
we're
cool.
the facilitators, but I was like, that is so awesome. It just naturally happened
I
that
love
way.
that. Build it and
Yeah.
they will come.
Yeah.
You know, build it and they will come. And I've just been so impressed by the outreach this year that you guys in particular, but all the service areas have been able to do to really, really, really be intentional and just the outreach I've been able to do is phenomenal. I mean, there's over there's probably 150 different organizations who
Yeah.
are gonna come provide resources at your events,
Yeah.
and in total for all of the Take Action this year for all 8 DMH service areas, there's over 450 organizations that are participating with us, all
That's
in an
amazing.
effort to support mental health.
That's amazing.
And I think
that's-
it's really cool. Something that you and Manny mentioned is, we're last year was in Southgate. This time it's going to be in Belvedere Park. The need of the community,
Mhm.
like you said, how many people are we anticipating? 5,000.
5,000 people at
That
least.
is
Yeah.
like, I don't know, but we're gonna be okay. We're
Yeah.
getting there. But I think for people who are just hearing this, it's something that they definitely want to be at because there's so much energy going into it,
Totally.
particularly from you. So for those of you who don't know, Katie is like the mastermind behind everything. She's been like behind the scene, like texting and emailing everybody all day, right?
All day.
Well, as usual, we've already started just chatting and stuff, but we still haven't done introductions, so it'd probably be a good thing to
Yeah.
to do
Just
some
a minute.
introductions.
Since you're the new person, you go first.
Me go first. Well, my name is Katy Nichols. I have an organization called Purpose Driven Solutions. Our bread and butter is event production, 360 event production, but we also have a nonprofit side of our organization by the same name, Purpose Driven Solutions. And our mission in this world is to bridge the gaps between big brands, corporations, and community needs in the events industry. And COVID is what got me here, right? I, like everyone else, lost my job, didn't know, I was a wayward son out in the world trying to figure it all out, and I got a gig with CORE, Sean Penn's organization, to do the vaccines up at Dodger Stadium, and they called us festival kids, and that's what my background's in, is music festivals and Coachella. So they called us festival kids and said, "How do we do it?" And we said, "We got you," and we went and we served, and all the while, also going to protests and the Black Lives Matter movement and all that. And I'm just looking around and watching these brands like change their whole entire cause marketing campaigns around meeting the moment, and I just thought, surely there's a need for this in real life, and what I'm good at is events, so let's merge the two and make it so. And it's just been an incredible journey, this project, to work on Take Action with all of you. I mean, you guys are the heroes. You are the ones that put on your capes every day and do what you do and help the most, and it's incredible. So to be able to work on this project and be able to serve you guys and help the healers, it's an honor. It's a lifelong honor of mine.
I almost interrupted you because I thought you were going to reveal my secret identity when you started talking about heroes and capes and stuff like that. I'm like, come on.
How'd you put it on this morning? One arm at a time? One arm at a time? How do y'all do it?
So my name is Jaime Gomez. You guys all know me. I am the guy here at the PRC Service Area 7. Super proud of what I do. Super proud of having an awesome team and being here with Miss Nichols. I remember meeting Katie for the very first time last year. I'm not gonna go there because we were emailing a bunch. We were emailing a bunch to
Texting,
all this different stuff. And then I think it was at San Antonio.
San Antonio Clinic.
I was like, you remember, right? I was like, are you Katie? Yeah. So that's really cool to
big
see.
old hug, yeah.
Dude, to see how far you've come, how far your organization has come. That's really cool. But I'm gonna pass the ball off to our stranger, Miss Salas here.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Salas. I'm with the PRC with Jaime's team, and I'm happy to be here with Katy Nichols. Also, I did meet you at the San Antonio event. Like Jaime said, it was like, okay, she's behind the scenes. So it was awesome. But thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone's used to being behind the scenes running.
Right.
Production.
Right, I'm with you. I try to stay behind the curtain as much as possible.
That's me.
And I'm Manuel Rosas Manny. I'm the Service Area 7 Chief with the department.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Again, you keep on triggering things at me. So like staying behind the scenes. When we started this whole thing of the podcast,
I thought he was gonna say this whole problem.
Hold on.
you know, like part of what I did was editing and you know, a little video stuff, but like more like editing, right? That was like my thing, animation and editing. And I remember when we started kicking around the idea of the podcast, I didn't know he intended for me to be on camera. I was like, yeah, I can edit it. Ooh, I can think of all these cool things I can do. And he's like,
Producer extraordinaire.
yeah. But it's cool. It's I'm glad that we're here. I'm glad that you took the time out of your busy schedule. I don't think,
Of course.
aside from us here, I don't think people realize how busy you really are. Like
Oh yeah.
8 service areas within the county.
Well, that's why even when we were meeting earlier, I was just saying you have so much.
It's all right here.
Yeah, I'm
I
like
got
let's just throw it up on the screen so we can all see. That's one less email you have to deal
Thank
with.
you.
Yeah.
One less email is always a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But I like to make myself available to you guys as much as possible. I think just that open communication. I have a really candid professionalism, if you could call it that. That, you know, I want to get to know you guys and know your hearts, and be able to produce something that really symbolizes your hearts, right? And get to know you guys on a personal level, to understand the community better. And it helps me with these little moments, right? Like, it helps me to remember, like, oh shoot, I owe Jaime about 27 things right now. But you know, I see it and it's there. I don't know how I keep it all in my head, but
Dude, you do an amazing job.
thank
Like
you.
talking about being focused on the community. Just remembering last year's event, right? I remember seeing the chapel, something we spoke about, the horses.
Yeah.
How it was very culturally focused and centered. So I'm even excited to see how this year, like I know behind the scenes we're planning, but to see it all come to fruition, I'm excited to see how this year's event will compare to next year's. And I forgot who I was mentioning to, where I said, you know, I get a certain sense of satisfaction, not only with feeling like this day is finally here, we don't have to worry about this anymore.
Right.
However, the people who attend, the kids, the joy, you know, the community members who are out there getting their haircuts, getting cleaned up for the first time, enjoying free food, ice cream, whatever might be out there that day. And I know you have that list in your head, but I ain't gonna go there, you know. I think for me it's just
I can
more.
paint a picture for you. You want me to paint a picture? I'm happy to paint a picture.
So like this year we're doing it in Belvedere Park, which
Right.
is East Los Angeles.
East Los
kind of-
Angeles.
East Los
Yeah.
Angeles,
Yes.
And we're doing it on the opposite side of the freeway. Is that what it is, or?
So yeah, on the First Street side of the park. So
Mhm.
not Cesar Chavez, but the other side
Yeah.
by
Okay.
the Aquatic Center.
Okay.
So yeah, if you know Belvedere, you have Cesar Chavez, Mednick, and First Street.
Mhm.
So we're on the First Street side.
I ask and I seem lost because I'm not that familiar with the area, but I do remember the other event we had there for AICC last
Yes,
year.
yes.
So I'm assuming it's around the same area.
Yes,
Same exact
area.
area.
Cool.
Same
Yep.
area, yeah.
Yep, we're just taking up more of it.
A larger footprint this time.
Larger, absolutely, larger footprint.
But going back to something, I appreciate you acknowledging like the staff and like them being like you said superheroes, right? And
Right.
going out there because I try to tell that to the staff. They are the heroes. Most of our staff during the pandemic still continued to show up in person. Most of our staff were still out providing services, whether it was at the clinic or at people's homes, whether there was rioting or whatever was going on, there was no obstacle, our staff was still there. And I think sometimes what happens is, which I'm glad that there's a lot of emphasis that was put about heroes and the medical professionals, but mental health, our staff kind of fell in the background to that. you know, and I do think that part of, I'm grateful for like what you do and your role in this is that you helped uplift our mental health folks and really put a spotlight and put like these people are also heroes. This is also
Totally.
part of like saving lives, and I don't think for a lot of our staff, we're not used to that. Our staff is used to just providing a service, doing the best you can, you know, helping people and then sending them off, right? But it's like this is an opportunity to really highlight the work that they all do, whether it's a peer, whether it's a clinician or a psychiatrist, a nurse, whoever it might be. It really does showcase that, and I'm really grateful for what you do, because even your approach in doing this, it's like we were talking about earlier, you really come to us and you say, look, I have organizations that I partner with that I know, and I could bring them, but I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
You all tell me what are the groups, the agencies that need to be there. What do you want for and that I think really is what helps make each one of these events very unique, because there's 9 this year, right?
Yeah.
We're doing one per service area and then one large one in June, I think, right?
Yep, June 1st.
Yeah, and for us in service area 7, it's May 4th at Belvedere Park. So that one is going to be unique all on its own from all the other ones, because of just all the work that you've been doing with our team in getting all the different community organizations there.
I really wanted to make it easy on y'all and let y'all focus on the things that y'all are really good at, right? Being part of the community. I've watched you all do such an amazing job, which is inundating yourselves with the local community, and I wanted to make sure that we made it count, right? That each one of the service area events for Take Action this year were localized to that community, and y'all have a fairly big footprint for your service area, but let's make it make sense, right?
Yeah.
That's my mantra. How many times have y'all heard me say that, right? So let's make it make sense, and let me take on the bulk of the heavy lifting of the logistics stuff. Let me do the permitting, and let me do all that stuff, and let y'all focus on what y'all are good at. So I thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the large parts, because I think it is the input from our staff, from our community, who are identifying and finding different vendors. I know, like Evelyn, she's found so many different vendors that are literally mom and pop shops.
Totally.
Mom and pop shops that really give to the community. You know, half the time they've even given stuff to some of our agencies to give to consumers who are now we're trying to get it vendorized and into the system. But even when they haven't been, you've always been like, give me their information, give me their contact, I'll make it work, I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But then you always even one up yourself, because then you do that and then you bring in like another organization to complement that. And like, because I know you've been doing work with some of the local sports teams too.
Right.
Yeah.
So Take Action as a whole is a year-round program, but we focus on May because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, right?
Yeah.
As we all know at this table. But it's really, the program itself is year-round and threefold, and part of it is a marketing and social impact partner campaign, full 360 marketing, but the social impact partners, we work directly with the stakeholders in LA, the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Galaxy, Odyssey, Univision, you name it, if they're a thought leader in LA, or, we're working with them, and a lot of those guys are coming out to activate with us on site, and Galaxy coming out to do a soccer clinic,
That's
a little
awesome.
mini soccer clinic. We'll have Sparks out there, maybe get a couple players out to sign some autographs. We're gonna do a lot of cool stuff, and that's just one part of what it's gonna look like, right? We'll have a whole village there for sports and games, and we'll have all the hoopla for sure, but then we'll have a whole nother village just for wellness, right? For yoga, for sound baths, for meditation activities, reality centers, bring in a cool biofeedback technology meditation situation. So we'll have that. We'll have a whole area for, you mentioned health and hygiene, right? mobile showers that are very dignified for our unhoused community, mobile closet, hygiene kits. We have another group coming who the community will have an opportunity to build hygiene kits to give back to the community. So take it if you need it and build it if you can, and that sort of thing. So yeah, we're gonna have all of these areas, and then a whole social service area, social services, where we'll be doing expungement and have the MACMO van out there. Artie's gonna feature some different anti-racism, diversity, and inclusion books and things for all ages. I mean, gosh, we'll have the food bank out there giving away all kinds of provisions. We're really partnering with people doing some really cool stuff, but
It's tremendously thoughtful in the way you're putting all of this together, because there are resources, obviously, mental health, like you were saying, health, hygiene, all that stuff. It's needed, right? But it's also bringing in partners that are making it fun, but are also it's exposing a community to different aspects that. As somebody who grew up in that area, I was born and raised in that area. I went to Belvedere Park every other day. I didn't grow up with any of that stuff. I didn't grow up like you're bringing in like a mobile roller skating rink. I didn't see roller skating until I was a grown man.
roller skating and skateboarding.
Surprise, roller skating wasn't that big in East LA back in the day.
Surfing, surfing too. We're working with a group called Surf Bus Foundation, and what they drive a school bus out into the community.
That's a trip.
And do it, and they pick kids up and take them to the beach and feed them and get them suited up and teach them how to surf. It's so cool. So. Everything from free haircuts and manicures to surfing activities. They're going to be doing VR surfing.
I was telling last year. I was telling some of our staff. It was really awesome at the event because I had one of our Tay youth came up to me and said, "Thank you for the haircut." And I said, "Oh no, it's part of our department. We're doing like, no, this is awesome because I needed to get lined up, and it was either that or buying food and." Now I can buy food because I don't have to pay for my haircut. And it was like, we might say, it's just a free haircut. No, a lot of these things really change people's lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was, I think, a point that I caught me. And I'm sorry, I'm slow right now, but it's like, it dawned on me that, you're right. So I grew up in South Central LA.
Yeah.
Some of these things I would have never seen, right? So to have all these things come together and a part of the community where there's such a high need, we're bringing all these things. But another thing that is apparent to me is, yes, you're Katy Nichols, right? But your passion.
The Katy Nichols.
Your passion. I know, yes, there's blah, blah, blah involved, but you have a passion for doing this. That's why you do it. And that's tremendous.
Absolutely.
It's like, you feel it. Like, I hear you talking, and it's not just because you've been emailing and texting people, but you feel it. And that's what's awesome.
I do. Mental health is a cause that is near and dear to me and my family's hearts. I'll be candid and say it's something that I've struggled with, I'm in recovery. I have been for 13 years now. Thank you. And, mental health has always been emotional sobriety has always been the biggest piece of that. And I've gotten so much from healers like you guys, right? I've been given this gift that I just can't. I want to give back.
Yeah.
I want to give back. I want to support the community, and whatever I can do to do that is an honor and a privilege. I'll do that much.
One to that, and you've given back
Tremendous.
Hundredfold.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because it's from just a macro perspective. You're hearing the feedback just from one event in Service Area 7, but being the largest mental health system in the country.
World.
Yeah.
The world.
Really.
In the world.
Think about the impact that you've had there.
It's
in
wild.
just changing what we do. It's amazing.
It's wild.
It's amazing.
It's wild.
It does it makes a big difference also within the community and stuff, and hearing from the community members themselves, from given from last year the multiple events that there was
Mhm.
during the weekend. I couldn't make some of the weekend events, but I actually went to one of our weekend events because I work for a recovery center on the
Mhm.
weekend for childcare. Therefore, we took some of the members actually to
Awesome.
the events, and they actually had some that had left that they had been transitioned. They came back and they're like, "Hey, are you guys doing those events again
That's
this
so
year?"
cool.
They
Well,
were
that's-
actually asking me again, and I was like, "You know
That's
what? I'll
awesome.
ask administration if we could take you guys. We are having the events this year." I was like, "I won't be working here." I was like, "But maybe some of our staff could take
Yeah.
you guys over." So
That's so cool, and
Big
that's what
impact.
I hope, right? Through all the hoopla, through the reptile exhibitions, and Heal the Bay, and the mobile baby shark touch tank, you know, through the free haircuts and all these
Yes.
things that people come and they enjoy themselves. But that's only 6 hours, you know. Mental health work is 365 days a year,
It's
right?
all right.
And it is my hope that bringing all this together, that people actually get plugged into those resources, right? You know, I talked
They
about
are.
all the hoopla in those villages, but with our theme Take Action, you know, we'll have a whole area for Take Action for you as a holistic individual with resources and folks passing out information and getting you signed up for things. We'll have a whole nother one for your circle, your friends, your family, your pets, your crew, right? We'll have animal adoptions on site. You know, VCA will be out and doing wellness checks on pets. And then a whole nother area for Take Action for your community. Ways to give back, ways to support, you know, really get plugged in.
Yeah, and you know, it's a trip. It's funny, like how your work ties in full circle to what we do here in the PRC. Our work, what we do, is part of recovery. It's part of
Yeah.
helping the community remove stigma, rebrand, right? I often say I omit the word mental health because it makes people feel weird.
Right.
So our approach is slightly different, but you're absolutely right. Like, you know, that day, although mental health is all your life, right? That day we help people heal in a way that could only be achieved in those, not in those, I mean, there's multiple venues that we can use or ways to do it, but that's super impactful to the community. Like,
Yeah.
again, just me going back to being a kid, there's things that, like Manny said, skating.
Yeah.
Skates in the hood?
Right.
I'm sorry, no.
Mhm.
Right?
If I had a
Right?
skateboard, it's because someone threw it away or my brother gave me his old skateboard,
Yeah.
but that's the way that was.
Sure.
And to be able to bring that out to our community is tremendous. Especially like Evelyn mentioned, the need. Evelyn's heard it, I've heard it. The reason why we're also doing the June event at Southgate is because Southgate was like, we need to do this again.
Sure.
We need to bring this back bigger and better. So it's definitely, it's part of, I think, all of our passion, our lived experience, because we've all been through something. We're all in recovery. And so having that passion and using it to give back to the community, I think for me, that's like my biggest takeaway. I always say, I feel really good when I have my men's group. The guys are always like, I love this. When can we do this again?
Yeah.
So just getting that back, I'm sure must help you feel tremendous. as
Oh,
well,
it's
too.
an honor and a privilege, and you know, it's by the community for the community,
Absolutely.
community healing
Yeah.
together, and that oneness it's palpable. You feel it when you're on site. You feel it, but I think something that my organization is good at is, you know, bringing in some of that brand power through really strategic partnerships, right? So we're something really different this year about Take Action is we've brought in brand partners like Pattern Beauty. Tracy Ellis Ross has a cool hair care line for curly headed
Yeah.
folks, right? So they're helping underwrite the cost of those free haircuts for
Wow.
us, you know. Bringing in BetterHelp. You can go to www.takeactionla.com right now and sign up for a month of free therapy
That's awesome.
through
That's
BetterHelp.
awesome.
You know, we're partnering. Who else? Uber. We'll be putting ride discount codes on the website really soon to encourage people to take rideshare out to the events. We're doing. I mean, gosh, who else? We've had Canes, Raising Canes. They've donated food for some of the events, so we can feed some of these volunteers that are coming out to pass out resources. We've got Mantra Brands. They do really cool positive messages on bracelets that we're going to be able to give away. Our partners at the Dodgers, the Lakers, all those the social impact partners have given us free tickets that we're gonna give away to games.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, you name Knott's Berry Farm, Disneyland, all the things. We'll be having some really cool giveaways and raffles, and to be able to provide that to a community that doesn't see a lot of that stuff is
Yes.
Yeah.
really, really,
Absolutely.
really cool.
And the impact is on so many different levels, because
Totally.
it is, like you were saying, we do this in May because of May's mental health awareness, and it's, destigmatizing mental health services and all that. And there is that component. I've had community members come up to me and just approach and say, I had no idea that, there was a mental health clinic right down the street from
Right.
me, or that I could get this type of service. I thought you had to have private insurance, but I've also had our own consumers who've been in our system who have been isolated, and these events prompted them to come out with their family, their loved one, their significant other, and be a part of a community.
Sure.
It was somewhere where they felt like they weren't being judged, they weren't being looked at weird or differently, they were part of. And in fact, I had one consumer say, it was like, I felt like this was my event.
Totally.
Like this was for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, just to be able to hear that, and just the impact that it has on so many different
But
levels.
imagine what we're not hearing,
Yeah.
guys. Imagine the amount of dinner table conversations that people leave these events, leave the Service Area 7 event and take home and have that conversation with their buddy, their mom, their whoever.
And
you
I
know?
think that's the like in my head I'm like myself, like I'm trying to imagine myself as a kid going to one of these events, the type of impact it would have had on me. It would have been tremendous, so definitely the conversation at the table, what we're not
Sure.
hearing, but I do feel like very, like, how would I say, like, grateful to be part of the movement, but also like it feels good to help the people out and to have an event for the people, by the people, right? Designed by individuals with lived experience, right? We're actually giving them what they requested, what they would like, and even some things that, again, the surfers, again, in the hood, there's no surfing. I'm sorry, but we have to go out to the ocean.
We can make baby sharks happen. It's happening. It's happening.
But even dignitaries, I've had so many, I won't name, but there were several politicians who were at our events who approached me and with their connections to mental health and the impacts either they had personally or within their families with regards to mental health and how they felt themselves like this wasn't around when I went through this or when I needed it. And it's so amazing to see that this can be openly talked about, it's not taboo, and that we can have these type of events and people will literally just be walking by the park even if they didn't know about the event and out of curiosity and then stay and talk to agencies, get connected with services. Yeah, it's like I said, at so many different levels, it's amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and I know we talked a little bit about earlier, the last year's campaign reached 1.5 million people. This year, we're set to double that and more. Over 3 million people. That's over a third of the LA County population.
Yeah.
Which it's wild, but it's
so.
just incredible.
I can't envision Belvedere Park with 5,000 to more people there. I know that Evelyn, myself, Manny, and a couple other team members are going to be part of that core team that's going to be there all day.
Yeah.
And I'm up for the challenge. If anybody knows me, I'm always up for the challenge. It's going to be interesting, but I look forward to it. Like in a weird way, I'm like, it's going to be cool.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all seen my plans and schemes, but they're yours. So
Your outline is like
it's a long list, but the fact, why not?
Yeah,
Why
absolutely.
not? Let's make it so. And y'all have done a fantastic job of making it so. And the community stuff that me going out to brand partners, it's the easiest ask I've ever had to do was say, hey,
That's cool.
do you want to support a mental health campaign? And people are chomping at the bit to get involved, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be awesome.
Maybe
That's awesome.
I was just gonna say maybe it's also because mental health has been more in the forefront nowadays. With different acts of violence, different things that happen throughout the world, right? Or just things that happen that impact people's mental health, regardless whether it's violence or not. So I think that that's also really cool that we're finally coming out of the shadows, like Manny said. We're finally kind of being acknowledged, like, hey, we need those guys too.
Right.
Like we need that team too. And I think even during our meeting earlier, the SALT meeting that we had, I made a comment about how mental health is part of total health, right? You need to be healthy spiritually, you need to be healthy mentally and physically. All of those things have to work in tandem as one. If not, there's no recovery. It won't work, right? And I know this is a really good way of bringing that to the community and showing them that we really care. That the great Katy Nichols
Oh.
makes appearances,
Yeah, we're gonna make
especially
it.
at the only podcast with the LA
Right.
County Department of Mental Health.
Wow.
Coffee with the Side of Healing.
There
Thank you
you
for
go.
coming. But I think again, your passion is tremendous. The amount of work that you're doing is tremendous. We owe you greatly. We appreciate you a bunch. Like I said, so I was telling Katie when we were outside, I took a bunch of pictures last year, and I told her I had video of her last year. I was thinking of editing it and putting it in the video, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that to her.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But it's good, dude. It's you. It's your work. It's your passion. You supporting the department doing this goes a long way. There's no words. It's a lot hearing you describe everything that's gonna be there. I'm like, gives me anxiety. I'm like, oh.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. That's why you don't have to worry about it. But it's about well-being, right?
Yeah.
Well-being, holistic well-being,
Yeah.
and I think that's something you guys as a department are doing a really good job with, is changing the narrative from mental health to more about well-being.
Yeah.
And that's what y'all provide, is resources for holistic well-being. And I've learned through this year, through all the Take Action stuff, is how many countywide programs the department has, like a DMH CalWorks program, veterans program, the new EOB program, right? And I want to be able to showcase that at the events too, just like you'll see at events, the fire rigs out there and the kids be able to jump all over those. Let's put the therapeutic van out there. Let's let the kids jump on it and ask what that button does and what that jacket's for, and let's teach them, let's empower the community, empower well-being, and empower each other, and events are fun.
Well, I think that's the important thing also about just the campaign itself,
Yeah.
being take action.
Right.
Whereas I think, as somebody who's been in the department longer than I'd like to say, it's literally been 30 years that I've been with DMH. It's I started off as a baby, straight out of high school. I started off as a student worker. I've grown up in DMH.
Wow.
Yeah, but we always used to just talk. Right, we used to do these May's mental health events where we bring in a speaker who was typically a mental health professional to talk to the mental health community. Which to me, I was always like, well, we're already aware about mental health. Why are we doing these events for ourselves?
Right.
But this is different because it's not just talking; it's take action. We're taking action, and not just like mental health isolated. It's really bringing in so many like facets of people's lives together.
Well, and that's what's going to be cool about being on site at y'all's. If every 5 feet you walk on site, there's another resource to get plugged into.
Yeah.
There's another resource that you get to take home right now. There's take a pair of shoes with you if you need it,
Yeah.
all of it it's going to be awesome.
I'm gonna be
You're
tired.
missing out if you're not there. Me
Yeah.
too.
I'm gonna be tired after that day. I'm already envisioning it. There was an event we did, and I remember just getting in the truck and being like, oh, but it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. I think that's what. It's really weird. Like my motivation isn't like that. It's just more like seeing the little kids.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even the tiny ones. Last year's event, I had my daughter there. And she could only hang for a few hours. She was 3 at the time, but now she's 4, so I expect more out of her. All jokes aside, she enjoyed it. She had a good time, and now she's gotten more used to doing any more outreach and engagements event with me. And she's like, Dad, when are we going to go to another fair? It's really cool, and it's even cool for me that I'm bringing her up in that environment, that she's learning,
Mhm.
this is what we do. And you know, her takeaway is, we'll either run into Erica or someone like that, and they always run away with her and they take her to the booths.
Yeah.
But I think it's really good that we're doing this for the community, by the community, that we're bringing this back again
Totally.
for the second year.
Mhm.
I'm glad that I met you way back then and we became buddies.
Cute.
And then you decided to come out here because I know you're really busy and famous now.
Nah, I don't know about being. You're only giving me way too much credit.
No, but it's good. I mean, I think this is really awesome, and again, just shows your passion in the work that you do.
Thank you.
And like you said, I don't think there's anybody who isn't affected by mental health. They might not see it or they might not understand it yet, but I think everybody is in one way a peer or affected by mental health. So doing this for the community, you know, we're focusing on Service Area 7 here today because this is our service area, but on a larger, grander scale, LA County, what did you say? We're the largest mental health system.
Public mental health system in the world, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes, like, I know we all probably feel like, man, I missed that, or I felt, we do a lot.
Mhm.
You do a lot.
Totally.
And so sometimes give yourself a hug, self-care,
That's right.
you know, pat on the back, but
That's right.
it's so cool. I think Evelyn wanted to say something. I keep on cutting her off. Evelyn?
No, the beauty of these events and stuff is that it targets all ages, all age
Right.
groups. Like I was saying, his daughter is 3 or now 4.
4.
But last year she was 3. During the event, I have a household of teenagers, and my teenagers talk about it because they went to the Service Area 3 event.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they talk about those events like, Mom, when is it? Are you having any of these? Can we go to them? And I'm like, this year, I'm happy to say I'm able to go. Last year I wasn't able to attend as an employee, but I was able to attend as a guest, which is awesome. But this year I will be able to work it and stuff, and my kids are like, can we go, Mom? And I was like, absolutely. I was like, but you guys are going to be working.
You guys and all your friends.
I was like, you guys
All
are,
your
I was
friends.
like, you guys are helping though. But yeah, so it
That's
targets all ages. So like I said, I have
Oh, yeah.
teenagers, he had little ones, we have older adults going, and we have all age ranges, honestly.
Yeah.
in it.
Totally. And we have activities for everybody too.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, everything, again, from reptiles and ocean touch tanks to gardening activities.
And that was last minute. I just
Yeah.
sent you that email. So, like,
I
literally.
move quickly.
I know.
Really.
You know.
Don't say I never gave you nothing. Don't say I never gave you
Literally,
nothing.
that was like, but that's good, dude. That's awesome.
Awesome.
I know my little girl Sammy. Hey, Sammy. She's, you know, now that she's 4, she's more receptive and just more aware of stuff.
Mhm.
So like she appreciates stuff. So like even seeing the reptiles, I know she's gonna be like, Dad, over here there's snakes.
Those are like come to. Those are come online memories. You know,
Yeah.
that's when things get good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but
Agreed.
you know, the kids are the future. But you know, we have stuff for the teenagers too. You know, we'll have TikTok boosts. You can get TikTok famous at the Search 37 event. You know, we'll have some fun entertainment. We've got a couple Spanish rock bands
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
to rock out with us. We've got, I mean, geez Louise, we got something for everybody,
That's
really.
awesome.
So
True.
May 4th,
May
4th
4th.
at Belvedere Park, we're gonna be rocking out with
From,
Katy,
yeah.
Annie, Evelyn, Myra, Erica, who are not here. They're here in spirit. Alicia, all of the.
Tell them what time it is.
11 to 5 p.m. We're going long, guys. If you see me shaking, it's because I need more coffee or I've had too much coffee. No, we're gonna be fine. I think, you know.
But it's gonna be so much fun. It's not gonna feel like it's.
That's,
yeah,
that's the
and
thing.
it's gonna go by
fly
quick.
by.
Yeah.
It's gonna go by quick. So.
And all of the hard work, and this is what I was trying to say, like, whenever you spend a lot of time coordinating something and it finally happens, it comes together, you're like,
That's right.
and then
That's
I'm
right.
done.
That's right.
But this is
Right.
awesome, dude. Again, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you guys
Yeah.
for having me. It means a lot.
No, not just today, for everything, for
Yeah.
all that you've done, and just being
Yeah.
just so open and just full of energy, and you know, always pushing us and putting that energy in us, and like go, and then you on the behind the scenes also doing that with all the different agencies and everything and everyone that you're bringing on board. It's just it's awesome. So thank you.
I'm glad I'm happy if y'all are happy, so
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Well, the community's happy. That's the thing.
All right.
That's
There
the
you go.
thing. For us, it's
Right.
rewarding to hear all the great. I know you don't get to hear as much of it because we get to hear after the fact from our
Yeah.
community members and our clients and their families. But I can tell you, it is so well received.
Yes,
I don't think we heard a single negative thing aside from the fact of can you have more of these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you mean we're not getting jerseys this time?
Yeah.
But dude, again, from the bottom of our hearts, I think we appreciate what you're doing. Helping bring this to the community is a great deal. You being here again, taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you guys are just busy, so again.
And Jaime, you're gonna throw up the flyer, right? With the
Oh, that's right.
computer magic. So.
Magic. No, I'll make sure to we'll put it in there for sure, all the information so that everybody can show up. Not that we need more than 5,000 people there, but everybody's
Yes, we do.
welcome.
We need everybody. We need everybody. They mama, they brother,
There
they
you go.
friends,
Alright
they
then.
church group.
I also-
You know, come on.
Yeah.
I need to give a special shout out to my executive producer who is sitting here in black because she's been. If I'm a superhero, we need to get into the Marvel universe to explain how much Evelyn's been doing. So thank you, Evelyn. She's been on fire. But again, my gratitude to you, Katie. Thank you
Yes.
for joining us
Thank you.
today. It's funny because I usually keep track of time of how long we've been talking, and I have been, but it doesn't even feel like it's been that long because I think we're all so involved in this process
Yeah.
that it's just like
It's
flowing.
fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. That's what I like about my job. It's fun.
Well,
right?
that's part of her. That's part of her superpower. It's
Yeah.
contagious. That energy. She just
Yeah.
keeps
Kind of
going,
like camp
so, like-
counselor energy. I was a camp counselor for way too long and never got rid of it, no matter how little copy I have.
Well, I think it's time to say goodbye. Do you want to say goodbye?
Any last
Yeah.
words or
Last
any
words,
message?
I hope everyone comes out. I hope everyone is able to take something they need from this campaign. If you need more resources, if you have questions before the event, please reach out to your service area 7 team here. For resources, please visit www.takeactionla.com. All the event schedule is on there and much more resources for mental health